Hey everybody, Peter from Shoetopia here again for another lunchtime edition of Lunchtime at Shoetopia. So hope you've been enjoying and appreciate everybody that's made comments and purchases and different stuff. We're having a little bit of fun every day at lunchtime. So grab your sandwich, grab your coffee. I've got my water here. I drink a lot of water every day. But basically spend 15-20 minutes with us and we'll talk things about New Balance. We'll go through a bunch of other stuff, but the big thing I wanted to talk about today is our decision to expand COVID-19 in a good way to COVID-25. And what does that mean? Well, if you go on our web store at shoetopia.ca, we have a discount code, and the discount code is COVID-25. And what that enables you for is 25% off almost our entire store online right now. So we're bringing some further discounts to you a little retail therapy right now. And what we're doing there, essentially, a couple of brands aren't on that particular package. One is Bluntstone and one is Birkenstock. Pretty much everything else right now is when you get to the checkout, you'll just type in that code and it'll automatically give you the discounts for it. And of course, we're running free shipping as well right now. I'll tell you a little shipping story actually. Yesterday after our Remonte one, we had a wonderful client that lives literally blocks away, ordered Remonte, and probably within 15-20 minutes after our lunchtime, I actually popped it off at her door. So maybe not the world's record for an online sale to deliver to door, but it's probably a Fergus record, and I was kind of thought that was just kind of neat. So we're all navigating the times with what's going on right now. So today, that's the big announcement, COVID-25. So we'll run that for the immediate future. For anybody that's made any purchases in the last week since we've been shut down, just contact me, Peter at shoetopia.ca, and we'll work out a credit for you from anything from last Tuesday until now that you've made online. So this will apply to all online sales through the time that we're closed. And we can go from there. So today we're going to talk about New Balance, and Bluntstone has been our biggest line for the last year, basically at the stores. But just before the store closed, we're really starting to see a push into New Balance, and people starting to get back into their athletic wear, starting to feel good about spring and wanting to get out for walks and all that stuff. Not that you can't do that at Bluntstone, but I think there's a certain time where people just want to get into their shoes and running shoes, and New Balance has long been a key brand here at Shoetopia. And I'll tell you a little quick story while we have a few minutes today about New Balance. My very first experience, we've been at Shoetopia now for 10 years. So we took over Shoetopia here in Fergus April 1st, 2010. So we're almost at the cusp of our 10th year as owners of Shoetopia since we took over from the previous owners. My very first, or my second day, was New Balance Day, and I had at the time for those of you who've been around Shoetopia for a while, you may have remembered Rick from New Balance, who then became our Birkenstock rep for several years. But Rick was here, Mark was here, who's another rep that has been around and with a couple of other brands, and is currently with Clark's now. But those were the two guys that came in and basically handed me my shoehorn and said, okay, let's get to business. So that was 10 years ago. And so New Balance for me has a bit of a warm spot in my heart because it was my first real event here at Shoetopia, and New Balance has always done well for us. So we'll talk a little bit about some of the key pieces, and in fact, some of the key pieces that were key pieces back 10 years ago still are great shoes. Sure, they've had some minor updates and stuff like that, but they continue to be stellar pieces for New Balance and continue to be worn every day by our customers. Couple of things off the bat with New Balance. New Balance has long been known for carrying widths, And so at Shoetopia, we've always focused a little bit more on the wider side of things as opposed to on the narrower side of things. But typically we can get narrower from New Balance, no problem, on a special order. We just tend not to stock them. So we do carry from women's B width in New Balance, women's D width, and some 2Es in New Balance. And then in men's, we carry D width. 2E width is probably our most common one here in men's, 4E width, and even a couple of 6E widths. So width story from New Balance is a big story for us. A lot of orthotic fits with New Balance. Great brand for that as well. So whether you're walking, whether you're running, whether you're just kind of living life every day, that's what New Balance is all about. And we're seeing over the last few years, over my 10 years of being here at Shoetopia, we've seen a real shift from people wearing, let's call them leather goods or dressier wear, to wearing, more casual wear over the last several years. The last 5 years in particular has gone more athletic and more casual. People are wearing them more at work and all this other stuff, and they just want the comfort. And we talk about it a lot, and I know it's backwards because of my Android phone, and I'm sorry about that, but our philosophy is look great and feel fantastic. And another brand here, almost every brand that we stock at Shoetopia has to follow that mantra. And without that, it really doesn't fit into our customer base. And for customers like you, I mean, you come to Shoetopia because you want to look great and feel fantastic. So New Balance helps us with that. One of the things we've done recently at the stores is that we're not carrying kids anymore. We carried kids for a few years. Never used to carry kids when I first got here. We introduced kids for a few years, and kids really just never took off for us. So as of this year, we're not carrying New Balance kids anymore, or any other kids. We'll carry a couple of Birks and a couple of Blunts for kids, but that's one of the things that we have discontinued at both of the stores really this season. So that's something that, in case you hadn't already heard, I thought I'd bring up here today. Another thing that we do that is sort of a everyday thing that we think everybody knows, but not necessarily, is that we price match. So we always have price matched here at Shoetopia for the last several years. So if you find a lower price on something that we stock in any of our stores, we are happy to price match that product for you. It's got to be a Canadian retailer, and it's got to be in our stores at the given time of the purchase. But really, those are the only. We're trying to bring you the best price and the best product every day at Shoetopia. So in case you didn't know that, that's just another thing that we do here too. So I want to talk about sort of our key pieces from New Balance on both the men's and the women's side, and we'll roll through a couple of things. Really, I did a private video for somebody, and this was the shoe I recommended, which is the New Balance 880. So we stock 880 in a women's and a men's. This is the women's version, but 880 is a neutral running shoe. So basically when we talk, and I'll talk a little bit more at the end about neutral, pronation, and supination, but neutral running shoes, really good support through here. It's giving you a firm base, and basically it's for people that are neutral in their gait. Laura from Align Orthotics, who often joins me for our Feel Good Feet series and joins us in store occasionally and stuff too. This is one of the shoes that she often will recommend, and we've started stocking the 880 as a great neutral running shoe for those that want something that's vented and airy for the spring and summer and all that sort of stuff. It's got the lockdown ties that we've talked about before too, a good heel counter, and a nice everyday walking shoe or running shoe, but with a neutral gait. We carry this one in a normal width, which is B width for ladies, and wider width in a D width as well, in some different colors. The 860 kind of looks similar as well, but with the 860, what they do there is they have, I'm trying to bring it in fairly close here, but this area is actually a higher density foam, so it's harder. And what happens there is that people that pronate, that roll in a little bit, it helps them stop from pronating and rolling in. So basically it's going to lever you into a neutral position with this. So people, sometimes you're in your shoe and you're kind of like, I don't feel the arch, I don't feel the arch. Well, basically, if you want to feel a bit more arch in a shoe, then you can also look for something that has a pronation grid in it. And we have that from Saucony as well. I mean, a lot of the running shoe brands will carry something that has a pronation grid, but the 860 for men's and women's on New Balance is one of those. I'll talk a little bit about New Balance too, because New Balance does a really good job with labeling their stuff. So I'm going to pull up the 860 here. So with the New Balance labels, you can always tell New Balance because the first letter is a W. So this is a women's product. M for men's. After that, sometimes they'll put in something else like an R, which would be running. Sometimes they don't. So if it's an R, sometimes they just don't put the R after it. But if it's an X, it means cross trainer. So good for stability and support, cross training, whether you're walking and all that sort of stuff. If it's a W, so if it would be WW, which I can show you this one, WW, so that's a walking shoe. Okay, so when you come into New Balance or when you're looking at our web store, you kind of have an idea of if it's just a W, typically they're calling it a running shoe. I mean, you can wear running shoes for walking too, but they will call out WW or MW, which would be men's walking, or MX, men's cross trainer. So that's basically the first part. The second part is the numbers. The numbers are the style. So 860 or sometimes they use letters as well. And then the last part of the code is really the color. So you'll see the first digits, several of the first digits are the same, and then you're getting into having, a different color code sometimes. The other thing that's interesting here too is they'll always call out the widths and make everything nice and easy to explain and look at. So D width, 2E width, 4E width, whatever the case is. New Balance does a really good job of labeling that so that everybody understands, and I've always appreciated that. So you'll know, first of all, if it's men's or women's by M or W, and then you can kind of read the code the rest of the way. Or just leave it up to us and we'll help you. That might be the easiest way of tackling it. One of the perennial classics that I was telling you about is the 928. So when I first got here 10 years ago, it was the 926 and then the 927 and then the 928 and different versions of it, but essentially has always looked kind of like the same shoe here. Now this shoe from New Balance, we have it in men's and in women's. We have it in several different colors because it's always recommended by the pedorthic people. And one of the reasons why is I like to sort of frame it as it's kind of like a brick as far as the lasting. So we talked about lasting yesterday, but the last of this, it's really neutral. It's very supportive. So much is on the ground here. When you're on the ground, it's absorbing your whole underneath your foot. So it's really, spreading out your weight and your load of your feel onto that whole pattern. That's why pedorthics people really like it too, because when they get their orthotic in there, it's giving such a great base. New Balance often will have these things in their walking shoes right here. And with this, it's a what they call the roller bar. So it's a stability bar that goes right through. Now they don't usually do this on some of the running shoes. I'll show you a full motion control shoe in a minute that they do, but most of the roller bars are on their walking shoes for the most part, and really just great stability and support for people that need it either every day or for people that want it for placement for their orthotic, whatever the case may be. But great shoes. The roller bar technology, again, you'll see that in quite a bit of their stuff. I'll call it out in a few of these other ones. Most of the time with the 928s in men's and women's, we do stock them in a wider width because a lot of times people are actually looking to put their orthotics in it, and we often will recommend those for that as well. Hey Jen, how are you? I see you just popped on here with us. By the way, if anybody has any questions while I'm online here, just tap them in, and I'm always happy to go through them with you. Another couple of people yesterday after our message emailed me, peter@shoetopia.ca, to say, hey, can you recommend some stuff? And I did up a couple of little videos for them as well in recommending some products for them. So happy to do that here at the store while I'm here, or I can do it through our web store and have conversations about New Balance or about Ramonte, about Blundstone, about any of the other things as well. Thanks, Carol. I appreciate. I'm enjoying doing the webinars too. It's kind of fun. Community is so important at this point in time, and although I'm here by myself, at least I feel I'm with all of you folks out there that are watching this live and later. So. This is the New Balance running shoe. This is our most expensive New Balance running shoe. This one's the ladies, but it looks exactly the same in the guys too. We have it both men's and women's. So this one's the 1540. It's a $209 shoe. So it's not cheap from New Balance, but it's the full motion control. So this shoe is just absolutely supportive in every given way. So it's got the roller bars right through the heel counter. This is when you look like this is one of the things that podorthic people do. They'll actually twist the shoe to see how much stability it is. I cannot twist this shoe. So some of the other shoes that are lighter, we talked about some of the ons and stuff. We were able to sort of twist those in one of the on broadcasts earlier. But with this kind of shoe, it's really a stable shoe and something that's going to be underfoot, and you're going to know it's there, and you're going to appreciate the support if that's the kind of support that you're looking for. So that's the 1540 from both men and women. We've got that shoe. What I call my nurse's shoe, and I'll call out for the nurses right now and all the support workers, everybody that's working hard every day to help us all through this trying time. Big call out. But this is long been what I've called my nurse's shoe, which is the 847. And it's got the roller bars in the heel too. They're smaller than at the 928 and the 1540, but a great shoe. Comes in widths, fits the orthotics really good. This has been our most popular color over the last couple of years, but we stock it in a white, so it's all white with a little bit of purple highlight, and we stock it in all black as well. So you'll see those on the website. But 847 is this particular shoe. It runs about 150 bucks, but great everyday shoe, and it's been around since my first time back here. 845, 846, 847, and the different versions, but essentially the same sort of shoe. I don't stock this one in men's, but I do stock the 857, which is a similar looking shoe and really been around for quite some time here too. This is the one that I stock up to 6E. So we do have some 6Es in this, 2Es the most common. We stock 4E as well, but sort of 2E, 4E, 6E every day, roller bars, nice and supportive. It's just a good shoe. I can't tell you how many people will just come in, get a pair of these every year, and just say, listen, I need my 857s. Guys tend to buy what they know, and there's a couple of shoes here that they know, and they just kind of come in and it's like, hey, it's Jim, here to buy my 857s, and it's like, great, we still have them. So 857, perennial classic, one that's on almost all the podorthic lists, kind of like the 928, the 847. Again, these are just great shoes. They keep going and they keep doing well. A lot of the athletic stuff, you know, they'll have new colors and some of this other stuff, but some of these perennial classics just kind of keep ticking along. This one I wanted to highlight too. So this is a shoe. It's the MU-TRL, and it's a guy's shoe, but this one's in 4E right now. All right, and I just wanted to call out, and the reason I put this here, it's not a new shoe for it, it's just from fall, but right now it's on sale for 69 bucks, usually 99 bucks. So just to call out that we actually have a lot of our New Balance on sale now, trying to clean up some of the fall product and some of the older product and stuff like that too. So as we do these videos, I'm really highlighting a lot of the new stuff, and some of the links, if you're getting our emails, the links are going to the new stuff for the most part. But just you can pile through or go to the sales section on the website too, and play around there and see if there's something that's actually going to tickle your fancy on on the sale selection. A lot of winter stuff still there, a lot of good deals. So, and with our COVID-25, just to let you know, that doesn't apply as an extra discount on stuff that's already on sale. That just applies to everything that isn't on sale right now, okay? Just to be clear about that. What else have I got? I've got this shoe, which has a purpose, and the purpose is easy entry. So it's the 813, and it's got the roller bars. We've got this shoe for guys as well. It comes in black, at least the version we have is black for the guys, but it's a Velcro shoe, nice and easy to get in. We stock the wider widths. Great sole unit. It's a walking shoe. Of course, you're not going to run too far in a Velcro shoe, but they serve a purpose and there's a need. So just to let you know that if that's something that you like, easy in, easy out, you want some width, and or maybe a lot of these will sell, you know, the daughter or husband will come in or son will come in and they'll say, hey, I need something for my dad at the nursing home or for my mom, or, you know, or just people that just don't want to do laces and maybe don't want to slip in. They still want to have the ability to open it up and pop it in. 813 is a great shoe there for it. It's supportive. It's got the great base. It's got the roller bars, easy entry, wider width. That's what New Balance, I mean, those are some of the key pieces of why New Balance continues to be a great brand for us. I wanted to highlight this one too. And this one's not on our website yet. It just came in before we close our doors, so we'll try and get that one up on the website. But just to highlight the fact that it's a Velcro and it's a 4E width. So we brought these New Balance ones in for the guys this year. I mean, we stock a lot of Under Armour slides and stuff like that. But if you're looking for a slide and you have a wider width, then we got you covered. So right now, it's not on the web store. If this is something that either you want or somebody you know want, your son, your husband, your dad, any of that sort of case, just pop a note in underneath here in Facebook. Email me at peter@shoetopia.ca and we'll be able to get these for you. So how much are these? $44.99. So $45. 4E width for the sandal. So another great addition from New Balance right here. Recently, we had a change of our supply for New Balance. So with New Balance, we've had now, something popped up on my phone or my computer here while we're doing this. Yeah, that's okay. We'll take care of that one later. These are what used to be New Balance insoles. Now we've changed the insoles, now called 10 seconds. On the website, it's still categorized as New Balance. Anybody who's bought these from us over the last 10 years or longer knew them as New Balance insoles. I'm wearing them right now. I love these insoles in my Bluntstones, and I'll show you the difference of them. This one is I mean, they're thick like an orthotic. They're super spongy. They keep their cushion. They're really good. But this one has a metatarsal, so you can see the bump on that. It's got a metatarsal pad in it here, and this one is just flat. So I personally wear the flat one, but we sell more of the metatarsal one. So the metatarsal one is the 30/30 and the flat one's the 30/20 if you're looking at them on our web store. But great all day comfort. I mean, you know that we're on our feet all day with a little bit of carpet underneath us, but basically we're on our feet on concrete, like many of our customers are if they work retail or if they're, you know, out on a shop or you know, working in their work boots every day, whatever the case is. But if that's something that you're interested in, we have not only from New Balance but from Birkenstock and from Superfeet and a bunch of other you know, orthotic type aftermarket pieces that will go in to help you with your comfort in any of the shoes. This has long been one of my favorites, and I can tell you they last a long time. They are $49, so they're not a cheap insert. They went up a couple of bucks recently. They've been $44, I think, for the last long time. But right now, if you type in COVID-25, you get 25% off those. And just a really comfortable shoe. Now you need a little bit more depth and a little more space, because if you're not used to, if you're pulling out just a super thin insole, then it's going to take up a bit more room, because like an orthotic, it's pretty beefy. But at the same time, great insole. So I want to flip the game here now. So you can see most of the stuff that I've highlighted here at shoetopia.ca. But I wanted to talk, and I mentioned that I'd talk a little bit about pronation, supination, and neutral gait. So if I had a full camera complement here, I would kind of walk along the floor and show you. That's how I usually will do it in store. But right now, I'm just going to have to grab a shoe, because it's just me here today. I'm the production team and the front stage on camera people too. But essentially, the idea behind neutral pronation and supination is that most people are neutral, which means you're going to heel strike. So you heel strike basically, and then you're going to come down, and then you're going to roll off. But if you pronate, you're still going to heel strike, okay? And then you're going to usually curl in a little bit, okay? And then you're going to roll off. And if you supinate, you heel strike typically, and then you roll out. So typically people that are a little more bow-legged would be supinators. And often people will pronate. We find a lot more pronators. So neutral's the most common. Pronation is probably the second most common. Supination is the third most common. New Balance covers that with some of their with the pronation grid that we talked about. It helps this. In the supination side of things, then you can get into one of the motion control things with the roller bars, or a neutral shoe. All right. And so that kind of thing is an interesting thing. How do you tell? Like, I've had customers come in and like, I don't know if I'm neutral. I don't know. I don't know if I supinate. Well, first of all, let's assume you don't wear an orthotic. So if you don't wear an orthotic, what you do, you don't look at the heel, because everybody heel strikes. So you're always going to wear off the heel first. Okay, so don't look at the back half of the shoe. Look at the front half of the shoe. And if you're looking at the front half of the shoe and you notice that this area is worn more, which is the inside of the shoe, okay? If you notice that this area is worn more, then you're supinating, or you're pronating, you're rolling in, and you'll see that. So just grab a pair of your old boots, your old shoes, whatever the case is, and take a little look, and you'll be able to tell whether or not you pronate. If you see the wear patterns on the outside, because you're always kind of coming down like this, then that means you supinate, okay? And if you see that it's pretty much worn kind of like the shoe was built, then you're neutral. All right. Now, there's a couple of other little things, that will play into that, because if you're wearing a shoe that's helping pronation support, because of the thing we talked about earlier, some of those pronation bars, that may make your wear pattern neutral, even though you're still pronating. So we can help you with that when you come in the store. But the idea is that if you want to check on your own, just check on your own at the forefoot of your shoes, and you'll see whether you pronate, which is the inside, you supinate, which is the outside, or whether you have a neutral gait, which is really just you're wearing down the shoe like it should, or it just looks kind of normal. So that's usually how you would tell. When you get into stuff like fitting orthotics and things like that, there are certain shoes that you don't want to put orthotics in unless your podorthic person has prescribed them for you. So in this shoe that has the pronation grid in it, we would never recommend putting an orthotic in a shoe that has a pronation grid, because a pronation grid is going to work against the orthotic. Okay, unless your podiatrist or podorthic person has actually subscribed that or prescribed that you go into something like that. So that would be the only time. Usually we want to get you into a neutral shoe, something that's really giving it a firm, steady support base, so that your orthotic, as they craft the orthotic setting your foot inside the shoe the way it's supposed to. So the shoe should really have a neutral gait in most cases. Sometimes they'll I've seen a couple of times where they've suggested putting you into something that's a pronation support, but not too often. So in the store, we'd really always recommend that you're going to wear a neutral shoe if you wear the orthotics. And sometimes we've seen people come in, they're like, yeah, my knees and my hips are bugging me and I wear orthotics, and they've gone into a shoe store and they've bought something like this and on their own without having, you know, professional people help them, and because they've got a good deal or they like the color or something like that, but the shoe's working against their orthotic. And when that happens, cheapers, you don't feel good, and it's like, oh, I'm having issues with my hip, I'm having issues with my knee. Well, it's because it's not set in place the way it should. So we're always happy to help you with that sort of stuff at Shoetopia, whether you need help fitting orthotics, whether you need help just walking around the store and figuring out what might be good for your particular application. Oh, by the way, I had a couple of great comments from people. After our on video a couple of days ago, I had one lady say, you know, just got back from Australia, and, you know, my husband and I wore our ons the whole trip and it was great. And I've had some great comments on Ramonte too. So I love to hear the feedback of anything that you've found successful from any of the stuff you've bought here. And just talking about shoes, talking about looking great and feeling fantastic. And if there's anything that I can do to help you with that, let me know. Do we carry Saucony from Pam? Absolutely, we carry Saucony. Just go to shoetopia.ca and you can see some of the Saucony. And at this point in time, Pam, I'm planning on doing a little Saucony video at lunch on Friday. So I figured we'd kind of continue through our athletic week for the most part this week. Tomorrow I'm going to do Riker. So, and then Friday I'll probably do Saucony, and so that will cover our main athletic brands in the store and a couple of our main other brands too. So tomorrow, for everybody that's watching, we'll try to get Riker in, and then Friday we'll try to get Saucony in for Pam and for anybody else that's a Saucony lover. And we certainly have some great Saucony shoes here that are perennial classics too, and some new ups for this year that I think will do really well. So I'm going to call it at that today. I wore my shirt. I was talking to a fellow retailer the other day, and he said, you know, gotcha, and I'll call him out. His name is Roz, and they own Omar's, and Omar's over in Aurora and in Newmarket, and they have a great shoe store, and they also have a wonderful clothing store. And so at the last shoe show, he brought me this shirt. He knew I was, you know, I saw him wearing it, and I said, oh, I need to get one of those. So if there's any, you know, I just love fancy shirts, and people will ask me, where do I get my shirts and stuff like that. And for the most part, I get them right here locally at Broderick's. But like everybody else, the odd time you know, veer out and grab something else. And if you're over in the Aurora area or a Newmarket, you can shop. I think they have a web store too, but with great clothing, and they carry a lot of the footwear that we do too. Good retailers, and right now we're all pulling together trying to figure out all of this stuff. And if there's anything that I can help you with, I'm happy to help you out with as well. Lastly, I just wanted to call out and say thank you to Rebecca, Rob, and Kate that sent in web orders just before, at least those were the ones that I saw this morning before I jumped on live. So I just thought I would send a quick thank you for those orders. We appreciate the web orders, really do. And hopefully we'll keep everybody well shoed or shod for this time, as we're trying to get outside a little bit and get active, take your dog for a walk and stuff like that. There was another comment here. Hello from Beth. We're able to make some arrangements to try some shoes. Yes, I mean, the way to try shoes right now is to order them online, and you can try them right in your own home. If there's a problem with them, then we'll work them out on the back end of things, but our stores are all closed, so we can't actually try anything on or have you in the stores, and that's just by the rule of the government right now. We closed a week ago now, but all the other footwear stores are closed too, because they have to be. Hey, Paul. Good to see you. And Glad you joined us, but you joined us at the very end, so you'll have to catch the replay because we're going to wrap this one up for today. Everybody, join us tomorrow for Riker, and we will carry on again with Lunchtime at Shoetopia. Have a great day. Stay healthy. Bye for now.